I don't think I've ever related to a single line in The Office as much as I did this line.
I've been building muscle underneath, and that top layer hasn't burned off yet. Awkward stage.
I just love cheeseburgers. I'm never getting skinny again. Anyway, Pool Party is an episode for the last few years that I would have described as one of my most despised episodes of The Office. I wanted to give myself a little bit of a break before I consumed this Pool Party episode, just so I could really dive in without the bias, fear, preconceived notions. And yeah, it's still the Pool Party.
Was that you who just created a party out of thin air? Or was it me?
It was you, Kevin.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris and I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever, and today we're looking at Season 8 and Robert California's absolute low point in the Pool Party.
This is a party.
Written by newcomer to the series, directed by Office veteran, there's tons to talk about, so let's go.
I understand nothing.
The Meatball cold open has a certain kind of charm. One, because we get to see 3 Jim Dwight pranks in one cold opening, but also because there's just something to love about Stanley's laughter.
Look for your stapler.
With Pam's absence, Jim has found a new audience in Stanley, and Jim is a showman through and through. But the tables turn on Jim when it's revealed that Dwight and Stanley are simply using Jim for his meatballs.
That idiot's been feeding us for a week.
We'll never have to buy meatballs again.
But this opening sequence has nothing to do with the episode at all, so moving right along, the first scene of the story opens with Robert California lamenting putting his house up for sale. Jim steps in it when he takes something very much out of touch Robert California says about his house.
The ultimate insult? They're calling my speakeasy lounge a rumpus room. Does my turmoil amuse you, Jim?
Jim mentions this house gives him vibes from one Kubrick film,
The Shining.
but the CEO subtly volleys that back over to him,
This was hot on the heels of Eyes Wide Shut, mind you.
which is going to be important for the deeper meaning, so stay tuned for that. The CEO is bemoaning that this was to be his elite sex mansion, and the mom from Liar Liar ruined all of that for him. A worthy sacrifice, in my opinion. Kevin, sensing an opportunity to have some good old-fashioned fun, suggests a pool party at the CEO's house. And Robert agrees that maybe one last blowout might be fitting before it goes on the market. The setup is fairly simple then. If you've ever gone to a pool party with coworkers, it can be an awkward experience because we're all used to seeing each other like this during these times, but all of a sudden we're thrust into a very different experience, significantly more skin showing, and you're also in an unfamiliar place and unfamiliar times. And this place, as Bobby sets up, is a floor-to-ceiling experience intended to reduce inhibitions of everyone who may enter, as Robert explains as he takes everyone through the tour.
I imagine people would set down their coats and symbolically their inhibitions.
And as that tour continues, we get to see everyone in the pool loosen their grips on their social norms. So let's take a look at it. First up, Erin found out earlier that Andy followed her home after the Christmas party.
It's no problem. You live right near me.
How do you know where I live?
Andy followed you home after the Christmas party?
This sets up the main tension for the episode. By the way, there seems to be like little traces of D'Angelo still floating around.
Dunder Mifflin.
Try it without using your name.
Dunder Mifflin. This is.
But early in the party, Erin shoots her shot, which is promptly shot down by a very confident Andy. And because of this, she leads a campaign involving Dwight to try to get into Andy's head to show the same concern that Andy had for her at the Christmas party.
He wanted to make sure California didn't put it in you.
And the two ramp up their behavior throughout the night. Taking a look at Andy, his confidence at the beginning of this episode is fueled by a lot of things, like his parents' approval of Jessica.
Jessica, I love you. That's a message from my mom.
His seemingly strong and solid relationship with her, and the fact that he's kicking around proposing to the woman at any moment. Now, I don't know who just walks around all the time with a family heirloom in their pocket.
I've been carrying that ring around in my wallet for 6 years. Because you don't know when you're going to meet the right girl, and the moment's going to be right.
But the ring goes missing. perhaps symbolizing that his search for love might still very much be in motion. The ring lands with Kelly, and he talks her out of it.
Ring of a failed marriage might have some sinister energy, right?
Only for the ring to be ceremoniously destroyed, kind of, by a council of women.
Broken up your last couple, you evil ring.
Only for it to be found and returned to him by a surprisingly calm and confident Aaron, who recognizes the Bernard family symbol, and it serves to unravel what was left of Andy's confidence. So in those two characters, one starts confident, one starts shaky, one ends confident, one ends shaky. Interesting. But we see a similar journey happen to a minor degree in other characters. Daryl's inhibition to take his shirt off and hop in the pool are explored.
You in?
Yeah, sure. I'll be right in.
People would set down their coats and symbolically their inhibitions.
Dwight's inhibitions to even help Aaron in the first place are quickly dashed as he assumes the matters of the flesh are the reason he was chosen for this endeavor.
I'm not going to help you. Why would you choose me? Because I'm mighty? Because I'm the manliest man in the office? I'll do it.
And we get to see a glimpse of what Kathy's true desires are as well.
Chicken fight!
Okay, yeah. Who's gonna be my partner? Where's Jim?
And as Robert's tour concludes at the pool, he sees the walls that we humans naturally use to divide and hide ourselves from one another, and with the help of an entire bottle of wine, strips down and skinny dips in front of everybody.
This is no get-together. This is a party.
Prompting Gabe and Ryan, who've been one-upping each other all night, to follow suit, creating a variety of reactions from everyone. After the time jump, the only ones still playing the night out are Gabe and Ryan and Bobby. And I mean, the subtext here would imply that they're willing to go to any length to meet Robert's expectations of the breakdown of societal norms. Fade to black.
Because of gay?
I don't know what's actually happening here. I watched this a few times this morning for this review, and I kind of think I know where they're going in this episode. So let's dive into the deeper meaning.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
This episode is working on a few different layers, and keep in mind the injection of Eyes Wide Shut.
This was hot on the heels of Eyes Wide Shut, mind you.
A film that takes a look at the rabbit hole of depravity, masculine fragility, and orgies, and it sets the tone for the pace of this episode, helping us unlock the deeper meaning. On the surface, we see Robert not only exploring what's left in the wake of his beautiful monster divorcing him.
A beautiful monster cost me my 40s and my dream home.
But he's also surveying the hopes that were dashed long ago, inspecting the experiences that he could have had and what might have been. Robert's search for meaning in this destruction is intentionally meant to overlap the decay of Andy's confidence in his relationship with Jessica, a relationship that on paper is the right fit. She's attractive, she's a hit with his parents, she seems to be confident, competent, funny, fit, fun to be around, and she's like willing to overlook that Andy is Andy.
What are you doing?
Flicking a bug off my wiener.
Gross.
But on paper, Mrs. California was the right call because, of course she was. So I'm thinking the writers used this story parallels to allow Andy to explore his feelings for Aaron.
Or take it slow, whatever you guys work out.
You're an idiot.
Personally,
I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
and I've talked about that at length at this point. And so long ago, when I would have thought, what is the point of this episode? Really, this episode structure works here. All those loose plot elements are going to serve that central tenet of the story, and I can't really fault them for that. Now, I actually got a totally different vibe for what I think should have happened, though.
Yeah, rub it in. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, maybe that shouldn't have happened, but, It was kind of cute. I do think that the biggest takeaway I have is to be a friend and keep a friend like Dwight.
This is the worst.
All right, pool party. Let's start with like and subscribe. Thank you very much. All right, the cold opening. We have the meatball cold opening.
Are you ready for some meatball?
There's something about this that I find extremely charming and enjoyable, and I don't know why. Admittedly, it lacks energy, but it makes up for it. It's like this genuine, what's gonna happen next kind of elation I have. It's pretty well done for a late series cold opening, but I do wish it had something to do with the episode at all. So I'm just gonna give it a 3 out of 5 and move on.
You've been meatballed.
As for Pool Party, the episode, I'll scream from the rooftops here that Andy should have just stayed with Jessica. And I don't feel like that's a hot take. Like, I don't get it. I think the point here is that sometimes we have to follow our hearts.
And a little bit your penis.
Even when it doesn't make sense on paper. But like, isn't that the opposite of the message that we were supposed to learn from Jan and Michael? That sometimes we're stuck in relationships that don't make any sense at all, and we're only there because of a putrid combination of daddy issues, self-doubt, and hormones?
That's not his fault. He had to follow his heart. That is a $200 plasma screen TV you just killed!
I just get frustrated with this follow your heart stuff because sometimes our species are, kind of dumb. Like notoriously so. We overcomplicate things. We inject so much drama into life. We stress about the stress that we've created. And then we complain that life didn't turn out the way that we think it should have. And perhaps Andy is not supposed to be the model here. Like, he's not the example. Perhaps the writers aren't using him to say, this is what you should do. But like, it's a sitcom, he's now the main character, whether we like it or not. But in a sitcom, which has invoked a will they won't they, with main character, 9 out of 10 times, they're supposed to be together. And there's no other way to read this then. This is the journey Andy is supposed to take, to be with Erin. It's the right thing for him. She's the right one for him. Until Hangover 3. I'll see you in 3 weeks!
Okay!
This is why I hate this season. It feels so useless. At any rate, for the briefest of moments, in this episode, there exists like a stillness that Robert California has in his journey and his character arc that while it might have taken him down some dark corridors that he would have rather avoided, sometimes it's not the journey or the destination. It is the friends we made along the way. But then he strips down in what has to amount to like all of the sexual harassment litigation that someone could get. Pool Party is not the worst episode of the series. I enjoyed what they were trying to explore, and something seriously made me laugh out loud.
Does Daryl not swim?
That's racist. I don't know. But I would say by looking at him, no, Daryl does not swim.
But as an episode of The Office, start to finish, it is kind of a disappointing one. I'm going to give Pool Party a 2 out of 5.
Duh.
Which I think still has Hot Girl from season 1 as the worst episode I've rated so far.
What flavor? Blue.
Blue's not a flavor.
It says flavor, Blue Blast. Oh, Blue Blast, yes. Put that in the trunk.
I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments. Join me next time when we maybe challenge Hot Girl's placement here with season 8, episode 13 or 14, one of those. Jury Duty.
Jim, you're in deep doo-doo.
Which, yeah. Maybe Pool Party wasn't the lowest point of the series. So, with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
King Creed.